Beyti kebab is another popular dish that's enjoyed across the world and has become popular in Turkish restaurants over the last, say, 20 years. And it's even in restaurants that aren't Turkish, but maybe around Turkey. Middle Eastern restaurants, they have on their menu, maybe with their slight variation. Before I looked into it, I would have thought it's hundreds of years old. It's an ancient dish that's been part of Turkish cuisine for a long time. However, it's only been uh, around for less than just under 100 years. The story goes from most articles. It says uh, Beyti Güler, that's where the name comes from. He went on a trip to Switzerland and he met a butcher um, who almost inspired him to try different ways and experiment with the way his restaurant serves meat. And this led to him to make the Beyti kebab. Uh, it should be, but it isn't. It should be a lamb loin wrapped um, in a layer of lamb fat and grilled over charcoal on skewers. That's that's what he made in his restaurant. As we'll discover in a second, what we see in restaurants nowadays isn't this. Um, However, when you go to these Turkish restaurants and you ask for beef kebab, that's the one you'll get. Instead, you'll get something that was adapted to that recipe, which is they'll chop lamb, um, mostly minced lamb. They'll add garlic and herbs, and uh, they put it on a skewer, and then the kebab is wrapped in some sort of bread, and then grilled further until it's crisp, and then they put sauce on top of the finished product, and that's what you get. Often a tomato kind of sauce, and then some yogurt on top. That's what you get in the restaurants. But that was inspired by the original uh, Beyti kebab, which is available in some parts of Turkey, uh, which was uh, which was inspired from his trip. And you can see that people are inspired by different cuisines and different methods of cooking from different parts of the world. And, and people say um, our food is our food and we don't need other people's food and it shouldn't be mixed and things like this. And you don't realize many of these dishes that people like, they are different cuisines and different cultures coming together to create one dish. And this is an example. This individual went to Switzerland, was inspired by a butcher, and then took this and made it into a Beyti kebab. And people took that and made and adapted it to what they could make. And what we have in these restaurants in the UK and elsewhere, it's a version of the original Beyti kebab, which I explained. Um, and it's interesting to see how someone from Switzerland, of all countries, inspired a kebab dish. If you asked me, I would not have guessed Switzerland. Um, I wouldn't think of kebabs. I wouldn't think of this type of cooking with Switzerland. But you can see that people are united by one of the things people are united by is food, and many of the dishes that I've explained is people coming together from different parts of the world. Maybe they bring the recipe of their homeland and they adapt it to the place that they're in now, and it becomes a dish. And later on, someone else um, um, adds their way of cooking to it, and then you have one dish inspired by three people of different lands, and you have something that everyone likes. And nowadays, people are quick to say, um, in this country, there should be food from this country alone, and there shouldn't be any other food. And people still say this today, and I've heard it still today, and they shouldn't be. 2024, they shouldn't be, but they still do. And I could have finished the video when I finished explaining, but I wanted to speak about this. That this example and many other examples, you get food because of people from different parts of the world, and without you even knowing, you like the food. So people should they don't need to be racist and say food from this country should be only this country's cuisine. We're in 2024. Most of your food is probably imported from somewhere else. The raw ingredients. If you truly want to be racist and you don't like anybody else's food, then don't even um, import food from elsewhere. Have everything from here, but they're not going to do that because many of them they're only um, racist because they're not educated and things like this. And hopefully, food can be a way where people come together to understand, appreciate each other's cultures, and learn and realize that their ideas and attitudes that they might have isn't correct, and they should be welcoming people from different parts of the world and not being afraid of them.